All right, good morning, everybody. Hopefully, y'all are having a great hump day, CPI day, whatever you want to call it, Wednesday. So, interesting data we got this morning. CPI ended up coming out at 7.1%, while Smart Wall Street expected 7.3. It's really funny how basically all the estimates were, I think, above 7.3, and then it actually came in, 2 points or zero point 0.2 points below that. So I actually made a tweet which y'all might like. So let's find that tweet. So basically, I said Wall Street figured out the CPI game, set the estimates high, and then the actual number will come in lower, selling stocks off to innocent retail investors on quote-unquote good inflation data and having them hold the bag for the 2023 recession. So very interesting that CPI came in so much lower than what Wall Street expected when myself, I'm not saying this to gloat, I estimated 7%. So I actually, put a little bit of thought into it, looking at producer price index, PPI, which came out last week. That dropped about 10%. So I estimated that CPI would probably drop by about the same amount. And what do you know? CPI came in at 7.1, while I expected 7, and Wall Street expected 7.3 and above. Ridiculous, but markets love it. No surprise there. SPY is up by 2.6%, and if we look at my morning update, my plan is to probably either kind of play it safe today, not take on mini trades, or open a very small iron condor because we already got that 3% up or 4% up from yesterday. I think it was up like 0.5 or 1%. And then today we're up another 3%. So we've already hit that 4% mark that we saw last time, right? Whenever CPI came in 0.2% lower than what Wall Street estimated. So given that, I don't think we're going to rally much more. But again, I'm either going to sit it out or I'm going to do a very small iron condor today. That is the plan. Good morning, everybody. Happy Hump Day, CPI Day, Wednesday. Let's see what's going on in the premium Discord. 410 pre-market is insane. Really hard to maintain that over the day. Yes, I do think that it's going to be, trading in a range. I would guess probably between 407.5 and 412.50 would be my best guess for right now. I do think that there's a potential of a sell-off around 2 or 3 o'clock, given that the Fed meeting is, in 24 hours. So I wouldn't put, again, a lot of money on this iron condor, but I do want to look at opening it. Whoops. Go over to Robinhood. Probably doing pretty well today. I had 2 bullish trades. Yeah, so the account's up by $1,000 this morning. I don't know why I'm zoomed like all the way in, but yeah, markets are pulling back probably to that 407.50 mark again is what I would estimate. Let me zoom out some more because we can't see. So this one, I would say, is almost certainly going to land in the money, so I would probably put like a 95% chance of that. This is the debit spread, so I'm going to close it at 95. Right now it's trading at 90. I did end up closing the call options that I had bought. Kind of regretting it now because we got exactly what I had expected. And those call options would be up a lot more than probably the debit spreads that I had opened yesterday. But let's see. These are going for basically max profit at the moment. I've made $1,000 on this. I bought this on December 8th, so about 5 days ago. And I guess I will end up closing this now. I don't think that it's... we need to unlock a little bit of our capital. So I'll probably try to sell it for 97, I would guess that it would go for. We got 20 contracts. I'll try 98 first. And then if we have to, 97. Oops. I meant to type 20 and I only typed in 2. 20 at 90. I guess we'll sell it at 97. If y'all really want that $1. They're pressing me for more than $1. Okay. That's dumb, but I think this is almost certainly going to be in the money above 398 by the end of the day. The odds of us pulling all the way back to 398, which was yesterday's close, it's stupid low. Unless, again, we get some sell-off from the Fed event tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to sell off nearly that amount, just based on, again, good inflation data. Gold is doing well because now interest rates don't have to go as high because inflation came in lower again, which means that the Fed doesn't have to be as restrictive. So the gold leaps that I had bought a very long time ago is finally profitable. Currently trading at, I bought it at $23.75. Now it's going for $24.10. Gold typically tends to outperform, and precious metals too tend to outperform during times of recession and during global tensions, war, things like that. So I think that gold is a pretty solid position to be in. Probably going to keep on hold for that gold leaps. And let's open a new iron condor. So let me set up some strike prices. I think 407.50 is a reasonable price, but we are pretty close to it already. So again, I don't want to put a lot of money on this trade. I'm going to make it off screen and then I'll show y'all when I close it. But again, I'm assuming SPY is going to be above 407.50, but I don't think we're probably going to rally to like 413 would be my guess. So somewhere in that 407.5 range to 413 by the end of the day would be my best guess for right now. So I'm going to open this, send it over to the trade alerts on the premium Discord, and hopefully we make some money on this. I know the puts are definitely going to pay us a solid premium. Yeah, just the puts alone are paying $41 in credit, which is ridiculous. And then the 413 that I'm assuming is going to stay below, that's paying an extra $13 in credit. So very good credit for this. Let's see, 52. This trade, I think I'm only really willing to lose about $200. So I'm only going to put $200 in risk for this trade. So getting about 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, roughly, for this iron condor. And I'll say that's pretty damn good. Alright, so let's see. Gotta post that over in the premium Discord. I will link the Discord for everyone to join after I post it. Let's see. Alright. There we go. And I'm going to have to take the screenshot on my phone for all the strike prices that I chose. Alright. So new options alert. Premium. 101. Just opened a new SPY Iron Condor. That one's expiring today, so that's a day trade. 12/13 is today's date. Need to specify this is a day trade. And gotta pull up the strike prices. So that was 4. There we go. 4. And there we go. And I got those for good credit. 53. Okay. All right. Sweet. So we got our first trade open for today on the good CPI data coming out. Let me take the screenshot on my phone for all the strike prices that I chose, and I will also link the Discord for y'all to join. Alright. Stop playing Fortnite. Yeah, I'm just over here playing Fortnite on the side, actually. I'm actually not making trades. I'm just talking about making trades. Actually, you know what? I'm not playing Fortnite. I'm actually playing old school RuneScape. I'm trying to level up my rune crafting at the moment. But yeah, let's see. Let me pull up that strike. I was always a rune crafting nerd whenever I played OSRS, because it made the most money, and like it was super easy, right? Besides, if you got like PK'd in the wilderness while you're trying to do your freaking RC runs, that was freaking annoying. I hated that, but it got good XP, it got good money. All right. Okay, so good inflation data this morning is likely to hold the stock market up. Between 407.5 price level and 412.5 would be my guess on the top side. But likely to sell off some end of day at 2 to 3 p.m. So planning to close before then. All right, sweet. We got that going on. Let me check the other trades we got. Hopefully that stupid freaking call debit spread. No, it didn't close. Like, how is that? Ugh. How is that not going for 97 each? Let me try to reclose this stupid spread. I really am starting to get bugged out by Robinhood. They just push my freaking buttons, man. Alright, so we got this 397, 398 call debit spread. Robinhood saying that it's going for 102. Let me pull up Aries. Aries always gives actual quotes and not whatever freaking Robinhood gives. I don't even know where they're pulling this 78 bid and 120 ask. Like, there's no way that a buyer's trying to buy this for 78 cents a piece when it's $10 in the money the same day that it expires. Like, you are full of shit, Robinhood. So let's go to SPY. Go to the option chain. This is the 397, 398 call debit spread. One of these days I gotta actually make the switch to... Wait a minute. That's 407, 408. That's the wrong... Like that one meme says, that's the wrong number. Old memes. You can tell how old I am. The good old Vine days. Actually, no, that wasn't a Vine. That was a actual YouTube video, I guess. But, Alright, so... The bid is 151, the ask is 164. That doesn't make sense either. You can't pay more than the difference between the strike price. Super hot fire. You're at least 40. Thanks. It must be the mustache that's giving it away. Oh, man. I feel like I'm 40 sometimes. My body just aches, but... Alright, let's try again to close this at 97. If it doesn't close at 97, I'm just going to let the damn thing expire. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so let me post this in the premium Discord. Thank God. Discord. Take a guess at how old I am. Jokes, I'm probably your age. Most people guess way too young. It's the baby face that I have. And the adult acne. 30? You're close. You're very close. 27. Perfect. Yep, right on the nose. Alright, closing options, alerts, premium, 101, premium. Just took profits on the SPY 397, 398 call debit spread that expires today, 12.13 at 97 each. Alright, so now we just do the little search, 397, 398. That was a YOLO guess. Dang, 22. I wish I was... No, actually, I don't wish I was 22 anymore. I had pretty bad depression when I was 22, and I'm in a lot better of a place now at 27 than I was at 22, so don't want to go back to that age. Anyway. Oh, that's you. Yeah, let's see. Alright, that didn't work, so I guess we need to search SPY called Debit. Alright, so we picked those up at 57 or 51 each, so almost 100% profit for it. Well, if we can find the damn thing. There it is. Opened at 51 each. You're 22. I wish that I got started a lot earlier. Open at 51 each. So 97 minus 51. 46 times 20. $920 profit. Big profits out here. Making big wins. Yeah, I wish that I took trading more seriously whenever I was 22 years old. I'd be a lot further along than I am right now. I'm glad that I'm helping people out that are younger than me and helping them get a start. Anyway, let's see if we can close the other spread that I had opened yesterday. So that one is up by 550. So Robinhood is telling me that they're going for 89 each, but my expectations is that there's about a 95% chance of this spread being in the money and making max profit. So I'm going to wait until these are going for 95 each. I do maybe want to close out a sum. That way, you know, I don't lose all of my gains. But I think the odds of coming all the way back down to 404 is super slim, unless there's any like crazy news that ends up coming out. Let's check the news feed, see if we have anything. Ken Griffin sues IRS over tax privacy breach that also affected other billionaires. Who cares? Inflation slows significantly in November. Send stocks higher. What do you need to know? That's another thing. You see Wall Street teaming up with these news companies in order to send stocks higher too. A lot of market manipulation going on. Especially, this is a trade that I've already made, so I'll talk about it. I bought 250 shares of UVixy. I actually started with 500 shares. Yes, every morning it opened from 9:30 to 10:30, so 1 hour. I'm thinking about pushing it to an hour and a half, but we'll see. It looks like we only got 4 likes and 29 viewers, so if we get more likes, maybe I can do this for an hour and a half instead of just an hour. But, yeah, so I want to talk about UVixy and VIX. So, interesting stuff going on here. We saw 2 gap ups where the VIX went from 22 to 24 this day, and then went from 25 all the way up to 26. But what's interesting about this is that UVixie didn't see any of that gain. It basically traded flat the last 2 days. So how is it that UVixie, a leveraged ETF from the VIX, traded flat while while VIX itself ended up gapping up 2 days in a row? But it's funny because now that the VIX fell by 10%, UVixie is actually feeling that. And there's actually been some investigations on different Wall Street firms. I think it's, don't quote me on this, but I think it was Barclays actually manipulating the VIX. So I find it really funny that UVixie didn't gain anything over the last couple of days while the VIX went up a crap ton. I have heard that it possibly was due to the rolling of expirations for the futures that UVixie trades with, but not 100% clear on that situation. But I think it's very interesting how that happened. So I think I found it over on Twitter searching for UVixie. Let's see if I can actually find it on Twitter. UVixie, folks. Yeah. It was some of the top, but I'm not seeing it anymore. Yeah, so this person's pointing out the flaws too. VXX bullshit. Truly, how is VIX up 10% and all the futures are actually down? Yeah, so there's a lot of people questioning it, but nothing we can really do about it, huh? I mean, it's funny that these are the only products that retail traders can use to trade the VIX, and they're the ones that don't go up when the actual VIX is going up. So, yeah, let's check out this bad boy. The 403, 404 is going for 91 cents a piece. Oh, looks like my light just cut off. But that iron condor is starting to make us a little bit of money, so happy about that for today. I do think there's a chance that we do see a little bit of a rally, just based on, good... Oh, sorry, I need to look at SPY, not VIX. Got VIX on my mind. I do think that there's a chance that we see a bit more of a rally because we almost know for sure that we're going to get a 50 basis point rate hike for tomorrow. If we look at the Fed futures. Sorry. Jeez. FOMC countdown is the tool that I use. I will link this in the comment section. Let me actually pin the Discord to the top for everybody to join. But yeah, so the odds of 50 basis points right now is sitting at 79.4%. The odds of 75 basis points for tomorrow, the rate hike for tomorrow, is just 20.6%. So almost certain that we're going to get a 50 basis point rate hike because the Fed has followed this for the last, better part of the last 60 to 80 years. So if they decide to go against what the Fed futures are telling them, then the markets would sell off pretty brutally. I would think that would probably be a circuit breaker event. And given how high we're trading at 410 right now, that could even leave more room in the tank to sell off if they decide to do that. But the odds of that actually happening are slim to none because, again, the Fed has been complacent in following whatever the markets tell them. I don't think that the current Fed members are any different. They're just as complacent as they always have been. So 2% likelihood that they go against the Fed futures, but if they do, then that is going to be a mess for the stock market. We're going to give up all the gains that we made today on CPI and then some. Something that I actually wanted to look at, though, is the summary of economic projections from last quarter in September to see if the Fed is reaching its goals. So if we go over to the, sorry, there's a dog that's barking super loud, Fed meeting calendar, and if we go to the September meeting, the projection materials, I'll also link this. I want to look at what they expected inflation to be at the end of this year. So if we look at core PCE, they expected this to be, let's see, 4.5%. They expected just regular PCE to be 5.4%. So let's look at the last readings and see if the Fed is actually doing their job. I think that'll be an interesting thing to look at. So let's see. Obviously, like, these are just estimates from the Fed members, but they should be trying to do their job to the best of their abilities. So core PCE is the metric we're looking for. Search for core PCE Fred. That is not the one that we want. I want the one that actually shows the percentage each month. Hopefully we can find the damn thing. Historical, maybe? No, this is just... I want to see the actual readings. Okay, I guess we can go over to the economic calendar from investing.com and try to find the last core PCE reading. I'll search the news for when the last one is. Core PCE. News. I guess we can use this. 2 weeks ago. Okay, so let's look at the last month of data. This is going to be a very large data set. Probably end of November-ish, maybe the week of Thanksgiving, I would think. I really wish that I remembered the date for it. That would make this a lot easier, but PCE is what we're searching for. Core PCE prices came in at 4.6% for the third quarter. So they actually are pretty close to their goals at actually 4.5%. So it looks like the Fed is actually doing what they're saying, at least what they're projecting. Let's see what the regular PCE is too. PCE prices were up 4.3%, so that actually came in lower than the 5.4 estimate that they had for the end of 2022. So the Fed is actually doing their job pretty well. I'm kind of shocked, given that, you know, we haven't had any super high interest rate hikes. Like, you see the 0.75, 75 basis point, whatever you want to call it. And, like, if you compare that to something like, you know, Paul Volcker back in the 1981, I think. He raised rates by like 10% at one time. But obviously we have a lot more debt than we did back in the 1970s and 1980s. So we can't really raise rates to that same kind of degree in order to fight off inflation. That would kind of blow up the monetary system, basically, because everybody would be paying way higher interest rates, you know, for homes. Well, I guess homes are most are fixed rates, I would hope. But then that would destroy the demand for homes. So it would be very messy if they actually pulled that off and did like even 150 basis points would be very brutal to the market, just given how much debt the U.S. has. Not only the government itself, but the public too has a crap ton of debt. Anyway, enough on that tangent. Let's go back to Robinhood. See if we can get out of those call debit spreads, assuming that it's going to be above 404. They're going for 90 each. I'll try to close them for 90 each. I don't think this order is going to go through, but you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So I will take my shot and try to close this at 90. Damn, we got a lot of viewers today. 38. That's good. Good to see y'all around. Happy to have y'all here. And it looks like we're not going to get filled for that $90 spread. But we are just trading in that range for 750. And I guess the top of the range might be the open of the day at 411. But I think just based on the 50 basis points that's expected tomorrow, we get a little bit more of a rally and then maybe a sell-off at the end of the day. Do I get a lot of viewers for CPI days? Today's a little bit slower than yesterday, which is interesting. So yesterday I had about 50 viewers, concurrent viewers, like the most amount of people that are watching at one time. Right now is 37. I'll actually show the stats right here. So I have 36, only 18 likes, and then total views so far this morning is 105, and y'all have stuck around with me for 8 minutes. So this ain't TikTok out here to where y'all are tuning in for 15 seconds, so glad to have y'all here and give y'all all this good info. Well, hopefully good info. We'll see. SPY's trading at 408.29, so we're retesting that 407.50 price level. And if we look at some other stocks, let's look at VIX. I think we could pile into VIX a little bit more by the end of today at like 2 o'clock. I would think that VIX is likely to go up with the Fed meeting tomorrow. What exactly are we doing here? A little bit of analysis, a little bit of trading here and there. Probably going to wait till like 1:30 or so to open that UVIXY trade. But let's look into it now, see if it's any cheap. How about Oracle? Oh, yeah, Oracle has their earnings report coming out. Interesting. Did they already report? Sitting on a SPY strangle right now. Yeah, I don't think that strangled. I took the opposite to that trade. I took a short iron condor. Oracle is doing pretty well. So let's see if I have any Oracle trades. I thought I had opened one, but I might have just forgot about Oracle earnings. Oh, yeah. So my assumption was that Oracle would go up with the inflation data that's coming out today. So let's actually check into their earnings and how that did. So their earnings per share came in at 121 earnings. Wall Street had expected, let's see. Let's pull up the yearly chart. That's where I have all the data that I wrote down. Wall Street had expected 118 earnings per share. So they actually beat their earnings. 12.04 billion revenue. The average earnings per share has been 113. So they did better than average. They did better than last quarter. So overall, a very good earnings report. I'm actually kind of surprised that it didn't rally all the way to the top of the risk range for this week, all the way up to 86. So we might actually be able to take a bullish trade, but I would be a little bit hesitant given that I think the markets are going to sell off by the end of the day. So maybe we turn this into an iron condor of sorts since I'm more neutral on the trade. There's a huge gap up from about 81.50 to 83.50, so about a $2 gap to fill. I don't think that it fills that gap until tomorrow probably. So we could either do bearish, but I would think that they would be above where they closed yesterday. But let's see Oracle. So I would either want a put debit spread, and you can hedge this too. You don't have to take one trade or the other. You can take on both. I would either do a put debit spread, assuming that they're going to go below yesterday's close, which was about 81.50. So you could use like an 82 strike price. But then I would also assume that it would stay between like 80, maybe 82 and 86. Right now it's trading at 83.6, so it's basically right between those strike prices. Unfortunately, Oracle doesn't have like daily expirations like SPY. Otherwise, I would trade that like crazy. But let's. So I'm gonna open a put debit spread, assuming that we're gonna be below 82 for Oracle, and then I'm gonna do a iron condor, assuming that we're gonna stay above 82 and below 86. That is the trade for today on their earnings. Now, obviously, I could be totally wrong, and both of these trades could go against me, so I don't want to risk a lot of money on it. Probably willing to lose like 300 for this trade, most. Looks like all the implied volatility from the options has been wiped out, and they're not paying much credit at all. So the calls are paying like 10. You get like a 1. You get a 10-to-1 risk to reward ratio on those. Kind of shitty. But the puts are actually a lot better. The puts are actually paying 5-to-1 risk reward, so that makes up for it. Let's see. I think I can get these for an okay price. Robinhood is obviously going to quote me for a crappy price. But let me make this trade over on the premium Discord. So I have an iron condor. I'm setting up the iron condor now, and then I also want the put debit spread. So let's see. I may have to open them separately because Robinhood only lets you open 4 trades at a time. So I have to open these orders separately, unfortunately. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's see if this order fills. Actually, so I wanted to risk 200, 300 total. I think I'll put a 50-50 risk on both trades. Okay, yeah. So 150 in risk on the iron condor, 150 in risk on the put debit spread. So very small trade relative to my account size. But a trade nonetheless. And I think it's a decent idea. At least for right now, probably until the Fed meeting tomorrow, I think we're probably going to get a decent sell-off. So that's why I want the put debit spread to hedge the iron condor. Unless somehow Powell ends up managing to be bullish, but we'll see. New options, alerts, premium 101. This is a swing trade that I'm making. Just opened a new Oracle IC for Iron Condor. This one expires the 16th, so this Friday. Let's see. What is that credit? 108.3. Wow, I actually got a lot better than the credit that I put in for, so I'll take that any day. Dun, 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 dun. 108, yep. That's a lot more than I expected. Let me get the strike prices. So I'm assuming that it's going to stay above 82. And I'm assuming it's going to stay below 86. Oracle earnings came in above expectations and better than average, higher than last quarter too. So a great earnings on top of good inflation data this morning. But I expect markets to sell off for the Fed meeting tomorrow, and Oracle should give back some of its gains. Also planning to open a put debit spread. All right. So a debit spread is when you buy an option and sell an option in the same order. So I'll show you one on SPY. So let's say that I assume that SPY is going to go back above $410. This isn't a trade that I'm actually going to make today. But let's say that I think that SPY is going to be above $410 by the end of the day, right? So I would buy a $409 call option, and then I would sell a $410 call option. So whenever I buy this one, I'm paying $134 or $135 in credit. Whenever I sell this one, I'm paying $135 as a debit, but then I'm getting $95 back from selling this $410 call. So the net cost of this option, because I'm selling the $410, only comes out to 38 cents. Whereas if I just wanted to buy the $409 call, I would end up paying $135 for that. So I'm cutting my cost by 75%. But I'm capping my max profit to the difference between the strike prices. So the difference between the strike prices is $1. We're paying $37 or $38. It's going to be changing around. But our max profit is the difference between our strike prices, $1 minus the $38, whatever credit. So our max profit for this trade is limited to 63. So that means even if SPY goes in up to like $420 today, for whatever reason, then this option would only gain $63. But let's say that I just bought the $409 call, right? If I just bought this is going for $138, and if SPY ends the day somehow at $420, then this option would have 420 minus 409 in intrinsic value. So that option would have 420 minus 409, $11 of intrinsic value. You multiply that by 100, so this option would go from $135 all the way up to $1,100. So you would make $1,100 minus 130, you would make $970 versus the other one, you would only make 63, right? So that's the difference between a regular call option and then a call debit spread. So spread options are just buying an option and selling an option in the same order. So this is kind of like Fortnite. I think MLEP really likes Fortnite. I've got like 100 different videos on spread options that y'all can check out. Probably a lot more detailed than what I can give in, that little 2-minute spiel. Yeah, debit spreads, they're really good for small accounts, like if you don't have a lot of money, but they do end up capping your profits, right, to the difference between the strike prices and minus what you pay. So there is, it is a double-edged sword, basically. I've watched them all. They're great. Thank you. All right. So let's see. Oh, yeah. I need to open the Oracle. I almost forgot about that. Y'all are distracting me, guys. All right. ORCL. Yeah, and the thing about it too is with a call debit spread, you just need the stock to be above the strike price that you sell. And another thing, you don't have to worry about implied volatility like you do with regular options, because since you're buying an option and selling an option, the Vega, which is how much option moves based on the change in implied volatility, kind of cancels out. So you don't have to worry about IV as much, which is really nice. But let's see, which is really good for like earnings, especially. I'm probably going to be making a video on best earning strategies. I think we're still a ways from the next earnings. I think it's still a couple weeks away. So I'll probably make it around then, whenever like Apple, Tesla, etc. Those companies are making their earnings. What do you think you should do with your SPY put? Thinking about just letting it expire. I would imagine if you opened it before today, it probably wouldn't be worth much. But if it expires today, you have a very short expiration, so it's probably going to expire worthless. But if it's any bit close to being in the money, say if you have like a 405, 406 put option, I do think that we're going to get a decent sell-off around 2 or 3 o'clock. So if your strike price is close, then I would wait until that 2 or 3 o'clock. But if your strike price is, way far away, if it's like something like $398 or $400, then likelihood, yeah. If it's $398, I probably wouldn't hold that back. That's me though. All right, let's make this damn Oracle trade before y'all distract me again. Let's see. So this Oracle trade is actually kind of cheap. I like it. So I'm assuming that Oracle is going to be below $82. Let me see what the bid ask is for this. Always stupid wide with Robinhood, but I'll take it. It's still worth it, even with the bid-ask spread being as wide as it is. And this one, again, I wanted to risk $150, just like the Iron Condor that I had opened. So let's see. Hopefully we can get this open at that price. Yep, we did. Sweet. One day, I need to start my own broker so I get to decide on my fills. Not Robinhood. I'm going to get the best fills that money can buy. New options alerts. Premium 101. Freemium. Just opened a new Oracle put debit spread. This one expires Friday again. 12/16. Damn it. All right. Strike prices. There we go. Same analysis as before. So basically, Oracle earnings came in good, but I expect the markets to sell off tomorrow, so they might give back their gains that they made today. Looks like SPY ended up coming back down below 407, interesting enough. So maybe the Iron Condor wasn't the best idea this morning. Let's see. Oracle stock to buy or different type of trade? No, so I opened a put debit spread, so I'm assuming that it's going to come down. And then I opened an Iron Condor kind of as a hedge, just in case I'm wrong about it going down. So I'm assuming that it's either going to trade flat with the Iron Condor, or I'm assuming that it's going to come down with the put debit spread. But let's check out the 5-minute chart for SPY, coming down below that 407.5 mark. Let's take the halfway between 405.38. Actually, screw these price levels. We're going to get rid of all of them and redraw because none of these are super relevant. Iron Condor. What's the Iron Condor? The Iron Condor is... So you must be a new trader if you don't understand spreads. But so an Iron Condor is a call credit spread and a put credit spread in the same trade. So if you don't know what those trades are, whenever you open a call credit spread, it's kind of like selling a call option, but you don't need the shares in order to open that trade, right? So you sell a call option that you assume the stock price is going to be below, and then you buy a call option with a higher strike price. So you take the difference between the strike prices, you subtract the credit, and that's how much money you need for the trade instead of needing the full amount of cash to buy 100 shares of the stock and then sell it at whatever strike price you choose with like a regular cover call. And then you have the put credit spread. It's kind of like selling a cash secure put to where you're assuming the stock is going to stay above, or otherwise you have to buy the shares. And then you buy a put with a lower strike price as collateral, basically. Yeah, Google the iron condor, or you can just, I'm pretty sure I have like 2 or 3 videos up on it too. So if you want to get my thoughts on it, super strategy. Anyway, let's draw up the damn price levels for SPY. So definitely a candle of significance on the CPI release at 8:30 this morning. So candle of significance, you take the open price at 401.44, close price at 406.3, divide that by 2, and you get 403.87, so pretty close to 404 price. I don't think that we're going to give that much up unless it's like the end of the day. There's a chance that we give some of that back because of the Fed meeting tomorrow, if there's a lot of fear about it. But I think the consensus is that we're going to get the 50 basis point, and I think that's going to keep fueling the market, at least to stay above where it's been trading. So I don't think that 403.87 is in the cards today. Now, obviously, I could be wrong if there's any other crazy news that comes out. It does seem like there's some Russian news coming out. Fun stuff. Russian deputy foreign minister, U.S. and Russia to continue talks on points of contention in the new year. Not really news. Major indices are higher after lighter than expected CPI. Inflation slows significantly in November. So basically the same headlines that we got before. Can you guess about the range for SPY tomorrow? Now, tomorrow, it's very hard to guess because you have the 2% chance of the Fed going against the futures and doing a 75 basis point hike when the market's expected at 50. That would cause the markets to sell off by 7%. So I would take on multiple trades. So I would take on a bearish trade, assuming that SPY could fall by 7%. I wouldn't put a lot of money on that. Just because, again, there's only like a 2% likelihood of that trade working out. I would also open probably... All right, so at 2 o'clock, if the Fed does a 50 basis point rate hike, markets are probably... Actually, no, I don't think that the markets are going to like that because the summary of economic projections comes out at the same time. So I think that it's going to be bearish either way, but that's going to be later in the day at 2 o'clock. So I think there's a chance that we go up during the day up until 2 o'clock, maybe just because people think, or people basically know that we're going to get a 50 basis point rate hike. But I would take a bearish trade right before 2 for the summary of economic projections, where the terminal rate, what the Fed expects the federal funds rate to be in the long term, that's going to come in higher than it was last time. And then the highest rate that they're planning to go to at the end of 2023 is likely to be higher as well. They've already came out and said that, so that could already be priced in to some degree. But the last 2 summary of economic projections, SPY ended up selling off like 3 or 4%. So I would think that we're probably going to come down 3 or 4% from where we're trading at the end of today. And again, my assumption for today is we're probably going to trade between 407.5 and like 413 at the very top. So assuming that we're going to go all the way up to 413 somehow by the end of today. Doesn't seem super likely, but maybe. We multiply that by 0.97%, and we will get a strike price of $401. So that's my estimate for tomorrow. So we're probably going to give up all the gains that we made on the CPI report. where we started at around 401. So maybe we take a trade on that. So a SPY put debit spread, assuming that we're going to be below 401 by the end of tomorrow. Hopefully we can get that for a decent price. I know SPY's already kind of fallen pretty major down to 405.25. But let's check it out at least, see how much we can get that trade for. We're still about 1% away, so I would think that they would be somewhat cheap. But right now, we'll see. I wouldn't probably open it right now, just given how low we're trading based on the range that I'm expecting for today, between, again, 407.5. So I would probably wait until it hits 407.5 and then open that debit spread. If you want to be, if you want to try to time it. Obviously, like, timing it is very difficult. You're unlikely to time it perfectly. But I think that's a reasonable assumption to think we're going to go back to 407.5. So let me set a price alert for 407.5 at or above that. Oh, I am starting to get hungry. All right. Let me see. Create an alert at 407.5. Oh, come on now. Sorry, my Thinkorswim is being a little bit slow now. Yeah, it looks like we're recovering some of that that we lost in the last 5 minutes. So let me get some water. It's been a minute since I hydrated myself. Most likely red, in my opinion, or stagnant for tomorrow. Yeah, I think the big sell-off is going to come with the Fed meeting. What's my go-to breakfast order? Coffee, protein coffee, and 2 mandarins. Maybe I'll be lucky to have a protein bar later. We'll see. I was eating golden kiwis, but they stopped selling golden kiwis because they are out of season right now. But I love golden kiwis. One of the best fruits there are. Actually, the best fruit, I will say. All right. So we got about 2 more minutes until 10:30. If y'all want me to stay on for an extra 30 minutes. Right now we have 23 likes for this video, 45 viewers. So if we can get up to 35, I'll stick around for another 30 minutes for y'all. Why so minimal calories? Because I gained a lot over the last couple of weeks because I was at my parents' house. So trying to lose a little bit of that. So we got 30 likes. Give me 5 more, and I will stick around for the next 32 minutes. Yeah. Just trying to balance my weight. Right now, I'm sitting at 155 pounds when I was like 150 pounds right before the trip, and the trip was only like 4 days. No, I disliked it. Okay, I'll leave. Donald wants me to leave, so sorry, guys. All right, we got 2 more likes, and I'll stick around for another 30 minutes. Make workout videos. How tall am I? Oh, man. I am 5'6". I am a midget. Not literally a midget. I am vertically challenged. All right, we need 2 more likes. And then I'll stick around. 7-2. Okay, Yao Ming. $36. All right. Y'all got me. I'll stick around for the next 30 minutes. All right, so we're trading at 405.40 at the moment. Let's see. The Qs is up by 2.3%, whereas SPY is up by 1.6. So we might get a better opportunity out of the Qs since it's up more today than we'll get out of SPY. So we can assume that Qs will go all the way down to 286, give up all the gains that we made for CPI. And let's see if that option is paying, or if that option is any cheaper. So let's see, QQQ. I'd rather look young than be tall. All right. So I'm assuming that it's probably going to go back to 288, I'll call it. It's already trading at 292, so there's not much left to give back. But we'll see. 288 strike price, where we're assuming that's going to be below. It's going to be a put debit spread, and that is cheaper than the SPY put debit spread that I was looking at. That one has about 5 times leverage to it, whereas the SPY has like 3 times leverage to it. So better risk reward ratio, which I will take. Oh, that's expiring for today. No wonder. That's so cheap. I was about to say, it doesn't make sense that it would be that much cheaper. But setting our expiration date for tomorrow, now this is giving us, let's see, 289. That's actually more expensive than the SPY trade. Interesting. Okay. So I might flip between these, see which one is better by around 2 o'clock today. But looks like we're still headed down. Wow. I'm quite shocked that we might go back all the way to the halfway point of the open, or not the open candle, but the CPI candle. These are expensive, but SPY's trying to lure me into this bearish trade. I feel like as soon as I open this, it's just gonna rip back up. We'll see. How do I calculate the risk reward ratio? You take the max profit for the trade. So this one is actually a 1 to 2 risk reward. So risk comes first. I'm risking 35 in order to make 65, right? So it's almost a 1 to 2 if it was $70 profit for 35, but close enough to 1 to 2, right? What brokerage site am I using? I use Robinhood. Not a huge fan of Robinhood just because whenever you're trading spread options, you're always going to get really bad prices. Somebody in the premium Discord said that the Iron Condor put side is in the money, which I know. Still gonna hold that though. I do think that there's a chance we go back up to 408, probably before 2 o'clock, and plans is to close that before 2, before the sell-off, I would think, ahead of the Fed meeting for tomorrow. Let's see what else is going on in the premium chat room. And then the main chat is empty, it seems like, this morning. Never played calls or puts. What if we do buy a call and the put at the same time? That is a strangle. Or maybe buy a call and a put at the same time. Yeah, that's either a long strangle or a long straddle, depending on what strike prices you choose. Been holding Tesla call for about a week, but since it's been up and down, I'll likely close. Yeah, option strat, the Iron Condor. What do you think of an inverse Iron Condor before? I would be more bearish than bullish ahead of Fed meeting tomorrow. I don't think there's I would say there's maybe a 30% chance that SPY is bullish for the Fed meeting tomorrow. Have I tried Webull? No. My contention with Webull is that it's a Chinese-owned stock, and it really doesn't matter because we're all giving our data to China anyway by using an iPhone, but I would rather avoid trading on a Chinese-owned stockbroker. Yeah, Moomoo is another Chinese-owned. Webull, I'm not gonna put my money there. I mean, I know that they're SIPC and they're FDIC insured, so there's no risk in it. But I just don't trust anything that comes out of China. I didn't know Webull was Chinese-owned. Yes, look into it. Webull is a Chinese-owned company. All right, well, the 403, 404 call debit spread is going for just 70 each now, so I guess I wish I had sold it at 90 cents when it was up a crap ton, but that's okay. I still think we're going to go back to 408 or 407, so we'll see how this trade works out. Let me try to open the put debit spread. Post that in the premium Discord. So right now we're trading at 406, and I'm assuming again we're going to go all the way back down to below 402. For the Fed meeting, that's tomorrow, so the expiration date is tomorrow. This is going to be a swing trade. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I chose the wrong strike prices. I mean, with the volatility, you could probably get a little bit more than the 402 mark. Let's say we get an extra 0.5% off of 402 times 0.995 would lead us down to 400. Obviously, that one's going to be cheaper just because the strike price is that much further away. But you decrease the likelihood the lower the strike price that you go with the put debit spread, and the cost of it is almost the same. So this one's almost a 2-to-1 risk reward, or 1-to-2 risk reward, since risk comes first. And then the other one was roughly 1-to-2 as well. So the scroll is just not working on Robinhood right now. That's annoying. But let's see. Expiring tomorrow, assuming we're going to be below 402. Oh, actually, these rose in price. Now, it's like 1 to 1.5 risk reward. Okay. And for this trade, I'm pretty confident in it. I think I'm willing to put up like $800 in risk. So let's see. That would be about. Let's see. The bid ask just keeps on moving. Damn it. Oh, we just dropped down to that 403.87 mark. We might get there faster than I thought. I don't think we're going to sell off, but maybe the markets are just so scared of the Fed tomorrow. It seems super unlikely. Yeah, I like the risk reward on it. I'm going to wait, though. That candle is probably an overreaction to something. President Biden says inflation is coming down. Things are headed in the right direction. Prices are still too high, but more work to be done. That is a good take, Mr. Biden. More work to be done. Damn. Yeah, these options are getting expensive because it's dropping so quick. I feel like I'm going to get lured in. It's going to bounce right off that 403.87 mark. They're scared of us, the people. What risk-reward ratio? It depends on the trade. Like some trades, different trade ideas use a different risk reward ratio. But generally, I stick with anything between, I would say a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio at the worst. So like risk 30 to make 100 if I'm very certain in the trade. And then if I'm less certain in the trade, then I want closer to like a 1-to-2 risk reward. So risk 30 to make 60, right? Or risk 30 to make 60. All right, so I'm going to open this put debit spread. Looks like we're bouncing on the 403.87 mark so far, but we'll see if we actually hold or not. And I guess the risk reward ratio kind of got screwed up by the contracts being so expensive because we dropped so heavy in the last 10 minutes, but I still think it's going to be in the money. Still think there's a good chance of it working out, so still worth it. Probably overpaying for it. Usually I end up overpaying, but still come out profitable. Let's see. Just because the assumption is right in the end. All right. New options alert. Premium. Premium. Just opened a new SPY put debit spread expiring tomorrow, 12/14. Whoops. At that price. And then I need the strike prices that I chose. So I'm assuming it's going to be below 402. Tomorrow at the end of the day. It's probably going to be a very bumpy ride to get there, but we'll see. Fed meeting tomorrow, expecting a 3 to 4% sell-off, similar to September and June, because the summary of economic projections is coming out where the Fed is likely to raise the terminal rate and the highest rate for 2023. So last two times that they did the SEP, or the summary of economic projections, SPY ended up selling off pretty brutally, down like 3 or 4%. So we're going to give up all the gains that we made on the CPI this morning. Hope it bounces back up somewhat. Yeah, I still think there's a decent chance. As long as we hold that 403.87 mark, I still think we go back up to 407.50 at least. Now, I think that going back up all the way to 412 is unlikely. But, I mean, anything can happen if the headlines start coming out all bullish for the Fed meeting tomorrow. We'll see. It all depends on the headlines and whatever the media's agenda is for the day. Just got to follow the news. As crappy as it is, let's check the news, see what's coming out right now. U.S. stocks surge as cooling inflation calms fears of Fed rate hikes, even though the chances of 50 basis point rate hike was the same as it was yesterday almost. It was like 75% yesterday, now it's 80% for the 50 basis point. So not really much change. But let's see. Oh, yes, more on the FTX saga. They're going to milk that until the end of days. I think they arrested him over in whatever country he was hiding. Binance wobbles. So actually, that's a interesting news piece. Binance is possibly getting in some trouble for money laundering, supposedly. Not really too in tune with what's going on there. I'm surprised that Bitcoin is done as well as it is on that news. I saw an alert that Bitcoin was up like 5% this morning. Yeah, it's still up 3.5% thanks to the good inflation data. But that Binance news is kind of spooky because Binance is freaking huge. That's an international exchange, and I think I have some money over on Binance too, so better move that money over to the ledger too. Do I trade futures? No, just options for me. Let's see what other news we got coming out. Oh man. Hong Kong scraps curbs on arrivals. I'm not sure what that means. Where is the news feed? News feed most popular is what we need. CPI fell to 7.1% in November, lower than expected because Wall Street loves playing the CPI game of setting really high expectations. It's funny how all the Wall Street experts expected like 0.2 to 0.5% higher. Meanwhile, I came in just 0.1% off the mark. Again, not saying that to gloat. I just think that there's some market manipulation going on to where they're trying to sell off stocks to retail traders that don't know any better. But U.S. stocks surge as cooling inflation comes down. U.S. CPI, SEC, SBF with fraud, blah, blah, blah. OPEC report. How is oil doing today? Let's see. Binance sees $1.9 billion of withdrawals in 24 hours. They are going to have some liquidity crisis. That is for sure. Wall Street surges on CPI. So basically all the news this morning is CPI, oil, and Binance fraud. So not really much going on. Looks like SPY ended up bouncing on the 403.87 mark. Not too surprised there. So probably going to go back up to 407, 408. Oh, thank Jesus, it's coming back up. Yeah. Yeah, I still think that it's going to go back up to 407 or 408. So by 2 o'clock and then 2 o'clock, I think we're going to get a decent sell-off, but we'll see. Learned my lesson there. Yeah, let me check on, speaking of the markets going up now, let me check on the not the iron condors, but the call debit spreads that I had opened. See if they're worth closing at this point. So SPY is currently trading at 4.0. God dang it. No, I don't want this. I want to be able to see SPY while also making this trade, please. So SPY is currently trading at 405. My assumption is that it's going to be about 404. These are going for 65 each, which is a lot less than the 90 that I could have sold them for earlier. But I definitely want to sell these before 2 o'clock. I do think that we get a decent rally over the next few hours, but it's uncertain just given how much we already kind of sold off from this morning. It's just been kind of downhill ever since the open. That's interesting that everybody ended up buying in the pre-market after the CPI data came out, and then it's just giving all of that back. Oh, crap, man. Okay, well, I opened these for 34, so I'm still at a decent profit for them, like $200. Could have made a lot more. Could have, should have, would have made a lot more. If I'd closed them earlier, I'll close them at 58. Whoops. What the heck, man? Not enough shares. Do I already have a sell order for them? I don't remember setting one, but we'll see. Cancel and replace the order. Yeah, I guess I already did. Yeah, I'll sell these for 50. No, they're going for 60 each. Let's see if we can get 60. I'm kind of doubtful, but... please. If I say please, will I get filled? Nope. What if I say Vlad's name 3 times? Will I get filled then? All jokes. Alright, I'll sell you for 58 each. Give me my money. Ah, damn it. Now SPY's going back to that 403.87 mark. If it crosses below that, I think we're just going to be bearish for the rest of the day. I guess I'll sell them for 55. I want to get them for 58, but You can't always get what you want. All right, we got him for 55. Post that on the trade alerts. Closing options alert. Closing options alert. Premium. Whoops. I'm actually surprised that they're going for that cheap. 101. That's not the right price that they should be trading for. Just took profits on the SPY 393, or no, 403, 404 call debit spread expiring today, 12/13 at 55 each. Yeah, and of course we bounce on that 403.87 mark again. SPY just keeps on playing me today, playing me like a fiddle. I'm gonna try the flat 3 times. Let's see. Does trading options also suffer the PDT rule? Yes. So whenever you're trading options, you're also under PDT to where you can only make 3-day trades if your account is under $25,000. So what I did was I took all the cash that I had saved up over the last couple of years, selling some of my stocks in June, and I just put that in the account to where my account is over $30,000. But I only use about 10,000 of that 30,000 to trade. So I'm not using the whole account, but at least I get past the PDT rule to where, I can trade as many day trades as I want. Interesting note on that, though. If you are a PDT pattern day trader, you don't get the 4% cash back that Robinhood, the cash sweep, is supposed to give you. So if you trade more than 3 day trades a week, even if your account is over $25,000, you don't get 4% back, which is really annoying and part of the reason why I want to quit Robinhood. But Robinhood just keeps sucking me right back in with their sexy user interface. It's kind of like, cigarettes and drugs. Like, it's just so damn beautiful, such a beautiful platform, but so awful whenever it comes to the spreads, the bid asks, the difference between the buying price and the selling price of an option. Ugh, I hate it, man. I hate it. But I just keep coming back to it. After the GME stuff, I swore off Robinhood. Yeah, I wish I had that willpower. I don't have that willpower. Stockholm syndrome. Yeah. Stockholm. That reminds me of that show that I really loved. It's called Money Heist. It's a super popular movie, so I'm sure most people have seen it. But that was a brilliant movie. Or brilliant show, I should say. Sorry. I loved that. What does it mean when an option is assigned? All right, so whenever you buy an option, you have the right to exercise it to buy or sell 100 shares of a stock, right? So in any transaction, there's a buyer and there's a seller. So somebody has to sell you that option. So if you're selling an option, then you get assigned if the buyer decides to exercise the option. So there's assignment for the seller, there's exercising for the buyer. So if the buyer decides to exercise, that means that you, as a seller, have to buy or sell 100 shares of the stock to them. Okay, so whenever you buy a call option, you're agreeing to buy 100 shares of the stock at the strike price. You don't have to exercise the option, but you have the right to exercise, right? So say I bought a $400 call option on SPY. I'm agreeing to buy 100 shares of SPY at $400. That is my right to buy 100 shares of SPY at $400. But the person that sold me that $400 call is under obligation to sell those 100 shares to me, okay? So I'm agreeing to buy the 100 shares since I'm the buyer for the call option, but the person that sold the option is agreeing to sell me the 100 shares for $400, Okay, so if I decide I want to buy these 100 shares right now, exercise this option, then I am assigning the person that sold the option to sell me those 100 shares that I want to buy now, that I have the right to buy, right? So they're under the obligation, since they're the seller, I'm under the right to buy the shares. So that's assignment and exercising. But that's if the buyer decides to exercise. Most of the time, the buyer won't decide to exercise until the expiration date, and there's a few caveats to this. So if the option is super deep in the money, then the likelihood of the option getting exercised is a lot higher, because the extrinsic value is going to be a lot higher. So there's intrinsic value, there's extrinsic value. So intrinsic value is the difference between the strike price and the current stock value, if the option is in the money. Now, if it's out of the money, then it has zero intrinsic value, okay? But then there's extrinsic value, so that is time, that is volatility, and those are the two things that make up extrinsic value. So the deeper in the money an option is, the less extrinsic value it's going to have. So extrinsic value follows a bell curve. I'll show the visual here. Extrinsic value bell curve. Hopefully I can find that. So the way that this works is, the further in the money you are, the less extrinsic value that the option is going to have. And the further out of the money, obviously, the lower the contract's value is going to be. So there's less extrinsic value in the out of the money option and an in the money option. And the further you go from the current stock of value with your strike price, the less extrinsic value there's going to be. So at the money options have the greatest amount of extrinsic value, and then in the money and out of the money options have less and less extrinsic value depending on how far you go out. So if an option is super deep in the money, it's going to have next to zero extrinsic value, especially if there's little to no time, which means that it makes more sense to exercise that option for the intrinsic value of the option. Yo, Corey, what's up? When you start doing live streams? Started about 2 weeks ago, 9:30 in the morning. Now until 11 o'clock, since people decided to like the video today. Thank y'all. We got 40 likes today. I think it's a record number, so appreciate y'all being here and liking the video. But let's see. I think I'm getting more comments on the Iron Condor. Still assuming that that's going to be working out by the end of the day, or at least by 2 o'clock. That's the plan, to close it by 2. I need to set a timer or something to close that. But no, it looks like nothing new in the premium Discord for right now. But we got about 2 more minutes left. We got more users reported. If y'all want to join the Discord and apply for a mod position to get rid of these stupid scammers and people's DMs, that would be great. See you later, Jay Lee. Always record numbers when I'm around. Yeah, you are pop star. Which is a great song. Drake back in his good old days when he was beefing with Meek Mill. I feel like he's kind of fallen off over the last couple of years, but that's just my opinion. I haven't liked his last couple of albums. Do you use a specific scanner for options? No. I don't scan for options. I just look for stocks to trade each week, usually based on earnings reports, and then trading SPY. So that's basically all I do is earnings and SPY And that's pretty much it. So I like to trade based on events. Obviously, earnings is an event, a binary event, either going to go up a lot or down a lot, or obviously it could trade flat, which most of the time the implied volatility is higher than actual volatility. But yeah, I trade that, and then I trade, macroeconomic news like the CPI coming out this morning. I traded based on that. And that's just my trading style. Like, different people have different trading styles. I'm more of a macro trader and event trader. Other people are more technical analysis based. But basically, the only stocks that I look at are earnings coming up for the week and then SPY. Do you use a specific scanner? Already answered that. What does it mean to roll an option? So that means just to either extend the expiration date and close the previous option. So you close the previous option and then move to a new expiration date or different strike prices to hopefully put the odds further in your favor. So you close an old option, you open a new option, basically. That is rolling a position. And it is 11:01, so y'all kept me a little bit past my 11 o'clock mark, but that's all right. Happy to have y'all here today. Signing off now, and I will catch y'all tomorrow the same time at 9:30 in the morning.